What happens when a group of paranormal investigators start a conversation? You get Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. Tales of the dead, the bizarre, and all things supernatural. Join us now as we discuss shadow people. Woo!
Oh, I better not do that too much. I'm driving. Go to jail for bobbing and weaving.
Don't be getting arrested on the podcast.
Right.
World star.
Officer, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in shadow people?
Hi, and welcome back to Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Linnea.
I'm Deborah.
Woo! And today we're all back together.
Woo!
Yeah.
Feels like home.
It does. Oh man, yeah, we've missed you, Linnea. We're glad you're back with us.
Thanks. Still running around like crazy.
I know you've been busy. Oh man, so how are y'all doing today?
Good. Might need a little bit more coffee.
Yeah. Deborah's already out and about this morning.
I'm going to church.
I'm still in my jams.
Daddy.
Oh, for
I
Father's
got up
Day.
at 6. I was going to go to the gym, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to be pushing it, so I'm going to go later.
See, I was up until like 2:00 in the morning, and then
Why?
I was up at like 8:30.
Why were you up until 2 in the morning?
Freaking Bridgerton.
Oh, that many episodes is there?
Well, okay, so I ended Bridgerton at like midnight. And then I started watching, I've been wanting to watch The Patriot for a while, so I rewatched that. And then I just fell asleep with the light on, so.
Did you watch the spinoff too, the Queen Charlotte or Princess Charlotte or whatever it was?
No, I didn't watch that one.
That's a good one. I liked it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I did not watch that one. But I wasn't, so, okay, let's talk about Bridgerton for a second there. Since we've all seen it. So I loved the first season. I didn't think I was going to, but I did. And then second season I didn't really care for because I'm not really a fan of the older brother. But then this season I really like the storyline with Penelope and Colin.
I think I've liked all the seasons, and like you said, it wasn't a show I thought, like, you know me, I'm all about the horror, the thriller, so that's not really my cup of tea, but I do like that series.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Although last night at the gym, it was that scene with Colin and Penelope, and I'm like, when they're he's showing her the new house where they're gonna live.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm cupping the screen because I can see the video camera for the gym is like right over where I'm sitting. I'm like, they're gonna think I'm watching pornography in here.
I've liked all 3 seasons, and what I liked was when Queen Charlotte came out. I watched it, and it opened a new light to Bridgerton.
Oh, yeah, you have to watch it, Aaron. And that's one of those things I wasn't going to watch. I only basically watched it because I was like out of stuff to watch, but I'm glad I did it. It makes a difference.
Makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably will add that to my list of things to watch, but just not binge watch today.
And Lady Danbury is probably my favorite.
Oh, I love her.
Because, that gives you a whole new insight on her as well. Like you'll think of her completely different after that.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, this season was nice because, you know, it was nice to have, for me being a bigger girl, not as big as I once was though.
Congratulations.
But being a bigger girl, you don't ever see, like, in TV, you don't ever see fluffy girls as like the main character.
Well, and she's so pretty.
She is,
Good Lord.
and so for her to be for that for fluffy girl to be portrayed as the main character, the main love interest, to be shown that fluffy girls need love too. I mean, it was awesome for me to see all that. And
Yeah, I like the season.
yeah, I did too.
Well, and one of the things that thrilled me when it showed the love scene with her and Colin,
Yeah.
that she was so comfortable with herself and in her own skin
Yeah.
that she
Oh
could
yeah.
do that. I couldn't do it,
Mm-mm.
but it made me proud and feel good that she was able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was just I loved it. I was very fascinated with it. I just rewatched and I'm so mad that they canceled it, like just took it like threw it to the wind altogether. But I rewatched Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies. Did y'all watch
I
that?
don't think I've
Uh-uh.
seen that.
Oh man, yeah, you missed out. It was good. Like if you liked the original Grease, then you would have liked this one.
Milo.
But they took it off of it was on Paramount Plus, but they canceled it
Hmm.
and then removed it completely from Paramount Plus. And I wish that it still had like another season or two, but it was good. I mean, it
What
definitely.
about Evil? Have you watched Evil?
Mm-mm.
Oh, check out Evil. That's on Paramount and Netflix.
Yeah,
And it kind of like there's been a couple episodes that makes me think of us.
yeah,
Mhm. Because basically it's like a group of people that are put together by the Catholic Church, and two of them are not Catholics,
yeah.
and they're basically determining who needs exorcisms and if there's like a logical or scientific reason behind things that are happening.
Right.
But it touches into a lot of different topics that we discuss.
Hmm.
So that's a fun little show. I think you'd like that.
I'm gonna go watch that. But yeah.
If you like Bridgerton, you need to watch Downton Abbey.
See, that's what I've heard. I've heard that I need to watch that one, but I don't know if I can. I don't know. I don't know yet. I started rewatching Outlander for like the millionth time though.
No, you need to watch Downton Abbey.
Yeah. Have y'all watched Outlander?
No.
I've not. And my sister watched that, and she keeps telling me to watch it, but I've
Y'all need
not.
to watch that one. Um, yeah. So definitely, if you're listening and you have watched any of these shows that we are discussing, or if you haven't watched any of these shows, let us know. And let us know what you recommend us watching.
Do we need to throw a quick food conversation?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, we're recording
While
this.
you're watching Bridgerton, make sure you eat cucumber sandwiches now.
Yeah, cucumber sandwiches, some nice tea. Um, but yeah, it's funny because we're recording this on Sunday on the day before it comes out on a Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning, and uh, like I just woke up like an hour or two ago, and so obviously brain's not all there.
I've been up since 5:30, and my brain's not all there. So.
My brain's never.
Yeah. So
I'm not even gonna lie about
um
it.
so next week when this episode comes out on Saturday, the 22nd, we have our first event at the Brentwood. Woo! I'm so excited about
And
I,
you should mention a fully sold out event.
it. It is sold out. It
it
is
sold
booked up,
out
sold out.
within
It
3 days.
as in like it's yeah, in 3 days.
That's incredible, but I'm sure people have been waiting to get in there for
Yeah.
so long.
Now I will say a disclaimer, we aren't profiting off of this.
No.
We did not charge for the tickets for it. We are just a face for the event. Is that the right way to say it? A face? We
Sure.
are putting the event on. We're just not doing we're not profit
So
anyway.
essentially, we're showing people how to investigate and letting them investigate the location, and the location is charging the fee for admittance.
Correct. That is correct. But we still accept donations. Oh Lord, yeah. So I'm really excited about that. It sold out in 3 days.
Make sure we
Um,
bring our donation jar.
yeah, I'll be like spare change. um, but yeah, I'm really really excited about that. We have I think 35 people signed up.
That's crazy.
Not to mention like probably a plethora of waiting lists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this probably will not be our last event there.
Good deal.
Yeah. So we got a couple other events coming up. If you are listening in the Horry County area, like if you live local, um, on the 25th of June, we're going to be at the Surfside Library at 5:30. Not all of us, but some of us are. We'll be there at 5:30 to give a little talk, a little chat about things. But yeah. So yeah, let's get into some shadow people talking. What first of all, okay, first of all, have y'all ever seen a shadow person?
I think so.
I see shadows all the time, but I've never
And
seen
yeah,
one that's like what I would say is a full blown apparition.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what you would call that.
yeah. See, that's where I think there's some confusion because, like, if you kind of like Google and get an image, you kind of get front on views, but then other things you read says when you see that shadow at the corner of your eye, that
Yeah.
that is also still a shadow person.
Okay.
So I have seen a full blown shadow figure. Uh
Okay.
and so and then I will never forget this because and since then, since we've started doing this, I've seen several. But this one, my first ever encounter with a shadow person, stuck with me. So, um, back in, let's see, I was in college, and I was living in Loris with my parents, and I was always been into paranormal investigating. Never done it like we do, regularly now, but I was always like, I had the apps on my phone. I was always like just piddling with it. And so one of the things I would like to do is take my siblings and investigate the woods behind my parents' house, and but more so that I could scare the shit out of them, right? And so we were out there one night with well, karma caught up with me because this yeah. So we were out there one night. I had a camera with me, and we were just like we were standing on this little pathway, and you have woods on one side, and then like you have a row of trees on the other side, and then behind that row of trees is a house. There's no lights on the house. I mean, this was like 11 o'clock at night, and so we were out there, and I had my camera, and my sister had a flashlight, and she was holding the flashlight like mid belly chest height, and I was using the camera. Well, I was taking pictures, and the way she was holding the flashlight, there was no light coming from behind us. So we were standing right next to each other. I was snapping pictures, and as one of the flashes went off, I literally see a full blown like it was black in the flash of the camera. Like it was solid black. And I literally see a solid black full body figure peek around from a tree like this and then move back. Like it was weird. And I saw that and I actually took off running and left my sister in the woods.
Oh my God. And I could see you doing that.
Yeah.
I, I'm going to give a side note on this one. I want you guys to listen to, I was listening to another podcast the other day called Two Girls, One Ghost, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And they have an episode, I don't know if it was just called Paranormal Game. It's one of the recent ones, but they discuss a game. It's basically like a ritual to capture a spirit on film.
What?
But it's a game with like full on instructions. I want you two to listen to that and see if that's something we might switch up and try sometime.
I mean, that would be cool.
Go listen to that episode.
A cool experiment.
Two girls,
Yeah,
one ghost.
Two Girls, One Ghost podcast.
Yeah, that would be a cool experiment. But so yeah, that was my first experience with a shadow person, and it it freaked me out, like, because I had never had any experience like that before. Like, I've always, like, my parents' house was haunted, but I've never, like, actually with my own eyes, and my sister saw it too. So we both saw the same thing. And but I've never, like, with my own eyes seen straight movement like that. So I think that's what freaked me out about it. It wasn't because, I mean, like I said, I've always heard stuff, felt stuff, or like seen the after effects of stuff, where I would come out of my bedroom and be the only one home, and all the kitchen cabinets would be wide open.
Mm.
But it, yeah. So that was my first time with dealing with a shadow person. Now, I know that shadow people typically, it's kind of like a 50-50 split on them. Like, some people think that they're bad omens, some people think that they're negative energies. Some people think that they're just spirits. That's just how
Right.
they materialize. What do
I
y'all
was
think?
reading that, and it's hard to kind of really go off of things because I do kind of think it could be just, and maybe it's not one thing. Maybe some are spirit, maybe some are evil energy, some are, you know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily think it's one thing, but I was reading that it says there's actually been um, like a recent upgrade in them being like more aggressive in attacking people.
Yeah.
But
Really?
you got to think of these are different times also. Like, think like if you go back 15 years, you didn't have all these ghost shows, paranormal. That, like,
Yeah.
think of how many people are probably going in and doing things to disrupt or
Oh,
aggravate or
absolutely.
provoke. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
maybe that uptick is just
Yeah. Well,
things
like,
being provoked.
But
I don't.
I have never felt fear
Yeah.
or any kind of aggression or anger or anything like that. And mostly when I see mine, it's at my house, and I know who's at my house.
Right.
So I'm just, I think it's probably the way that they can identify themselves physically, if you want to say
Yeah.
that. I don't think it's necessarily hauled into an evil entity.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, now, like, now that I've embraced my gifts, I guess you would say, now that I've embraced those, I definitely see shadows more often than not. But I don't see anything at my house. I've never seen anything at my house. Um, because, I mean, anyway, but
I don't feel like I feel anything in my house, but I get the out of the corner of my eye all the
yeah,
time.
I get it
So
bad
maybe
at work.
something's here and just doesn't want to mess with me.
Yeah, or they're just staying away. But yeah, I mean, I so I yeah, I don't I think shadow people are simply just spirits. Like, that's just me. I think they're just spirits. And like with any spirit, it can go either way. You can have a really good spirit, really kind spirit, or you can have something totally negative. But I think that think it's just spirit. I don't think. Well, okay, I take that back. What if it's more of a what if a shadow person is more of a like a almost like a neutral being?
Be that as
Almost
well.
like a what?
I said could be that as well.
But like what if they're just like a watcher almost?
Well, I was reading they also some people actually say that there are astral travelers or time travelers or aliens also.
Really?
Hmm. In
Alien.
more than one article, I've read that.
That's interesting. And I want to do an episode on that on time travel. I think that would be a fun episode to do.
We've touched in on it a little bit in
A
some of
little
our
bit.
episodes, haven't we?
Yeah, a little bit. But there's like
What?
actual like people, like documented people that I want to touch on too.
Oh, maybe next week.
Maybe. Let's travel to the future and talk about time travel next week. um, I yeah. Sha- I think that they could be like a watcher. Like
Well, I mean, technically, Hatman is also a shadow figure, right? I mean,
yeah,
but now he is associated with some aggressiveness,
some darkness. Yeah,
paralysis.
yeah. Um,
That's why I think it's more than one thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think shadow people is just a general term for a bunch of unexplainable things.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, like we don't when we say we see we don't sit there and say, "Oh, we saw a spirit." You know, it's more of we saw a shadow person or a shadow figure. Oh, she must have arrived at church or went through a bad area.
Where that
Um,
cop, where the cop got behind her.
yeah, and she's like, "Oh shit." Yeah, cuz they were yeah. God, hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, I don't we don't necessarily like yeah, cuz like you said it's more of a thing that's unknown. Because yeah, I don't think I've ever once been like, "Oh, did you see that spirit crossing over there?" It's more of, "Did you see that shadow?"
Right, right.
But I mean,
Again, that shadow could be bad, could be
yeah,
good, could just be curious, could
yeah.
be like the astral travel. Like I think that's
So
so.
let's talk about. So what's the theory behind the time travel with it?
It doesn't really say. Hang on. So this one just says. Hmm, oh gosh, I think my dog's having an issue. Oh Lord. Oh gosh. So this is from hauntedrooms.co.uk. Interdimensional beings. Most popular answer to what are shadow people question tends to lean towards a type of interdimensional being. Aliens is often bandied around as an answer, and it's not quite as ludicrous as it sounds. Many people believe that aliens are already here on Earth and simply disguising themselves. Others believe that aliens are on Earth. Let's see, this goes on and on to another theory is based on astral beings and time travelers, also works on the idea that these shadows are simply astral beings or time travelers who have slipped through one dimension to another. Just how these time travelers or astral beings slip through the dimension is something we don't yet have an answer for. But I mean, think about that. Essentially, aren't ghosts doing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, and we know based on like physics that we're not the only plane here. You know. Welcome back.
Hi.
You went through a bad area, didn't you?
Yeah, right there at the state line, it gets bad.
Choppy. Um, but yeah, I mean, we know that we are uh on a we have more than one plane of existence. So you know, it would be it's entirely plausible for multiple different things, multiple different energies to be traveling at once, through multiple different planes. I mean, oh, excuse you, Blanchie. She just said, "Oh,
I mean, and there's actually like whole books that are written just on the subject. Like there's one author, Heidi Hollis. She wrote a whole book on it, and she just says that she explains them as negative aliens that can be repelled by various means, including invoking the name of Jesus.
oh, jeez." So, speaking of aliens, I had a weird thing happen to me. Uh, I had a weird like bump form on my hand. I thought it was a bug bite, but it's still there. So now I'm wondering if I it's like right there. So now I'm wondering if I got abducted by aliens and they put a chip in my hand.
Hmm. See, I had a really hard lump right here.
Yeah.
They ended up saying it was trigger thumb, and I had to get a shot of cortisone or something in there.
Oh no, this doesn't hurt. This is literally just like a little raised piece of skin on my palm. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't. I don't feel it. I just happened to notice it the other day, and I was like, "Oh,
Could
And
be
your
a
mind went right to
callus.
aliens,
it
huh?
did."
Right to
It could be
aliens.
a callus. It could be a ganglion cyst.
Gianni used to get the ganglion cyst on her wrist from gymnastics.
I thought it was a bug bite because I spent a lot of time in the
It could
in the
be a
hammock.
bug bite.
Yeah, it could be. But my mind went right to aliens. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I've been abducted, and that's my microchip.
An alien
So
baby is going to crawl out of your hand.
maybe it might. That'd be kind of crazy. But yeah. I mean, I can kind of see where. I mean, aren't there movies where like what Predator, where he's like shimmery.
Girl, that movie is so old. I don't know how you can even remember that.
Well, anyway, he's shimmery, so it would kind of make sense that uh it's kind of like a cloaking for aliens.
But again, are aliens actually coming here, or do they come here kind of interdimensionally to watch?
What if it's all done? Uh, so
All
what?
hologram and stuff?
Yeah, like what if they're physically up in space or wherever, right? But when they are sitting up there in the atmosphere or wherever they sit, whatever, they like kind of project onto Earth, and like almost like the Star Trek beam.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yep, where they just kind of come down for a minute and then they're just like,
Well, and then, actually, neurologists are trying to discount it altogether and saying that there's a region of the brain that makes us feel like people are watching us and whatnot.
I mean, yes and no, but here's the thing about that. Like, I know me personally, like, I've had too many instances where I can feel if somebody's watching, i.e., like a spirit or something. And, how many times on an investigation have we felt like we've been being, like, just constantly being watched, and then have, like, start asking questions and get direct responses from what we're feeling?
Well, I don't buy that anyway because that has to do with one of those, like, them saying that basically means, like, don't trust your instinct or your fight or flight
Yeah. Well,
reaction. You know what I mean? Like,
but too, I mean, if you think about it, um, I mean, this goes back to the theory of what are they not telling us? Like we already kind of know that society, we're of the mind that everybody is born with some sort of ability psychically, sensitivity, whatever, born with some sort of ability, but society tells us it's not real, it's your imagination, and to let it go. So, what if this is furthering the society's, like, the societal standards, and they're like, oh no, it's just a part of your brain, you're actually not experiencing anything.
Well, I think also too that's that whole science first whatever thing. I mean, neurologists are obviously medical science.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna have to have an explanation for everything. So,
Oh, absolutely.
but back to what you just said about things they don't want us to know or whatever. I think we also need to revisit um, the Vatican with them coming out with that. I
Yes.
think we're gonna need to do a
A follow up,
updated, yeah, an updated Vatican episode.
strictly
All
for
right, y'all.
entertainment
I got to go.
purposes.
I'm here. I'm gonna go
All
get
right.
love my daddy and get my Jesus on.
All right, go get that
Give
Jesus
Daddy
on,
a
girl.
hug.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. But yeah, I think we're
There's
definitely gonna have to go back to that Vatican stuff because.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm down for that. That strictly for entertainment purposes only. There's a lot of things that I definitely think that we need to go back and touch on. The Vatican being one of them. I'd like to do another episode of the haunted and cursed games.
Hmm.
I think that would be a lot of fun. Um, but
I'm writing this all down so we have a list.
yeah, I'll add it to the pot. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. I think society has a lot a hand in saying what's factual and what's not, and the problem. So here's the problem, and this statement is just for entertainment purposes only. But here's the problem that I notice a lot, especially in today's society. There is a lot of sheep out there.
Hmm.
Like, people
Or
will,
are there?
ooh, what if they're plants?
Uh
Yeah. So
huh.
so people depend too easily and too quickly on the on what society says. That if they say, "Oh, well, you need this vaccine for XYZ," you know?
Those are the ones I specifically don't do.
Right. But I mean, like, there's but think about all the people that actually did do it.
Right.
And so and the
And now
people
you
that
all have trackers in you, and Elon Musk is watching you.
exactly. But like, so society tells us one thing, and there's so many people that are quick to be like, yes, because such and such person told me to do this, this is what I need to do now. But so like the I think now, like, not a whole lot of people like actually think for themselves, and I know in like 2020, 2021, there was a big spiritual movement, spiritual awakening, if you want to call it. But
Mm-hmm.
but I think that society has caught up with that. So now they're sprinkling things in there such as, this isn't real, or blah 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 blah. And so when you talk about it with people, a lot of times they'll be like, it's kind of goes back to, if you think about it, like, um what we deal with ghosts and stuff. Some people, you have your skeptics, and your
Mm-hmm.
skeptics are like really hardcore skeptics, and then you have your in betweens. So I mean, I think there's just a lot of society always plays a role in how people are viewed and how people are.
Yeah, for sure. And that reminded me too. I think I have another topic while we're adding these things on. Have you heard about Cryon and Lee Carroll?
No.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to add you into his Facebook page. But read up on that a little bit. I think that'd be an interesting topic.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we got quite a few topics in the pot already.
But
So
there's so much good stuff to talk about.
I know, and I gotta tell you, I really do. I think I really enjoy doing like the open discussion topics like we've been doing.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's more. It's well, one, it's less editing on me because it's more. It's just more free flowing. But but yeah, I mean, so shadow people. What is your overall consensus on shadow people?
Like I said, I think it's kind of just a collaboration of a bunch of different things. Some could be spirits, some could be demonic, some could be travelers, some could be whatever. I don't necessarily tie any negativity. I think, based on what it is and what energy it's carrying, it could be negative,
Yeah.
could be positive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not something that I have any kind of fear of seeing, because I do think, like, when I'm seeing those, at the corner of my eye, that's
Yeah.
what it is. But
Right.
it's nothing that scares me. I mean, maybe Hatman,
Oh yeah,
but
that would
that's
freak me
just
out.
one thing of that. It's not.
Yeah. Well, what if like so an episode that I kind of want to do eventually is talk about like a tulpa, which basically is um basically if you give enough energy to something, it becomes a real thing, which essentially is what Slender Man was.
Well, do you have any fear of us doing that? I mean, for all intents and purposes, when we go on investigation, we are a pool of energy.
Yeah.
So do you not worry that we may bring something to be?
I mean, uh, not really, only because what I mean is like when you give it enough energy, like Slender Man was basically created with a uh as a what was that?
Right, that was some weird. I don't even know. Something weird happened to my throat. I maybe have
Oh,
a little spirit.
I thought that was one of the
No,
dogs.
I literally, it was something weird in my throat, like a frog living in there or something.
But like so Slender Man was created by a guy. It was essentially created as like a creepy pasta.
Mm-hmm. I love
Um
creepy stuff.
yeah. And but more and more people were giving that specific content energy and actually basing intentions around it, not necessarily positive intentions. I mean, think about the there was a case probably about 10 or so years ago when Slenderman first really started coming about.
Right.
um and there was a case where uh a friend like stabbed another friend because Slenderman told her to.
Oh, this is the little girls.
Yeah.
The two little girls at they stabbed their friend. Yeah, I
Yeah.
listened to a podcast episode on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I'm not buying. I think that's just little girls that were trying to come up with a defense and an excuse,
Well, it didn't work because they went to prison.
as they should have.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it like that. Like, it, I think if Slender Man was going to do like that, that's like a one person thing. Like, I don't think that's
Yeah.
like a group activity. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
Like, that's him coming to you in your room at night. That's not.
Yeah. But I mean, like, what if like the Hat Man, for example, is a tulpa? Like it started from
Yeah,
a story that somebody told, and that
right.
story gained energy. I mean, w-
I feel there's some movies like this that aren't there. The
yeah.
things that have kind of been. Well, I mean, that's like saying. I mean, they tell us to manifest stuff.
Yeah,
So why would that be any different? If you can
exactly.
manifest a job, if you can manifest a love, if you can
I mean,
manifest.
manifesting is all about intention. If your intentions are positive and pure behind it, then you're going to see positive and pure results. But if your intentions are, you know, negatively charged, then you're gonna see negatively charged
Right.
results. You get what you get, you know. But it's Yeah, I think it's all about. I think everything in the universe is all about intention. And so if people, if you set a positive intention in your daily life, then you're going to get a positive feedback. So, I mean, yeah, it's just yeah, I mean, I guess a shadow person couldn't really be a tulpa because it's not stemming from one manifestation. It's
Yeah, I
multiple.
don't. Yeah, I don't think so.
But I do like the theory of interdimensional beings though.
And that is, it's really on just a lot of sites. Like I was just
Yeah.
looking at another one too, and the same thing. They have different categories of breaking down to what it could be. So basically, they're like, um, basically, your options are a figment of the imagination, ghost, demons or other spirit entities, astral bodies, time travelers, interdimensional beings, aliens, simply a mystery.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm going with the interdimensional beings just simply for the fact that we know that ghosts themselves are interdimensional beings. That's why they're not stationary all the
Right.
time. Um on a side note, I really hope we get some activity at the Brentwood.
Well, not for nothing, but that's going to be an awful lot of energy that's asking to see something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's a lot of energy.
Yeah. Um yeah, oh for sure. But I mean it's also a lot of energy for spirit to pull from too. Is
Are we gonna in the beginning? Are we gonna kind of just go over some of the things that we've come across there? Or are we gonna show like a quick little backpack video and some of the pictures that we took?
we can, but
Kind of
I
let
don't
them
have
know.
a way to show them. I mean,
We can do it on our phones or an iPad or something.
oh yeah. I can bring the laptop.
Just have it lined up so it's easy to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So we're not looking for it. Have a
Yeah.
couple like the pictures and the videos.
Yeah, I could bring the laptop. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I hope we get some stuff. Um some knocks or something. It's going to be difficult cuz I'm sure it's not going to be quiet. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, interdimensional beings. I mean, we know that ghosts aren't stationary. They're not, they can move. They can basically go anywhere. And so why
Can
couldn't
they though? Like that's one of those things that I'm torn on too. Like Brentwood, for example, we've heard the story where the spirit kind of left with somebody and they called back Brentwood and they were like, "Oh, that's just the ghost. Bring it back." But then, like you watch the TV show Ghost, and they're actually all like stuck on that property.
yeah, they're bound to the
Like, how do
property.
you know? We don't know. I mean, we
We
don't
need to
really
just
know.
ask. We need to just we
Oh
need to
yeah, why haven't we done that?
I don't know. But
That's almost kind of
okay,
like a
so
duh.
so then that goes back to the other week when we were in Tabor City.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we were dealing with it started out very positive and I think we talked about it the other an episode or two ago. But it started out very positive and then a new spirit came through and like
And
what I
that was out of jealousy.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's like, "Well, why are you giving this person the time of day?
Hmm.
But you don't want to give me the time of day and give me what I want."
Well, and I think it wasn't because it was just some time of day. It wasn't like there was a conversation, like there was an audience, there was a phone call. We were involving outside energy. Like it was a to
Yeah.
do, like
Yeah.
more than I think we've ever done
Yeah.
before because there
But
was
that
so
was
many.
yeah, but that was the coolest thing though.
Right, right. But I'm
But
saying that I think that's what kind of sparked like
yeah. Well,
what
cuz I mean, you could feel there was more than just the one spirit there. But it was almost like they were just going to sit back and watch, and but yeah, once this guy realized what we were doing, he wanted his moment.
Well, and I think he got too much energy out of the entire thing because there's not too many places where I'll tell you I don't really like going or wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
And I kind of have mixed feelings on whether
I
I
do
would go
too.
back in there.
I do too.
And I didn't feel anything, when we first got there and we were doing walks. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'd necessarily want to walk around in the dark upstairs, downstairs by myself. I for the first time ever, I think I didn't use the bathroom
Yeah.
at a premises that we were at.
Yeah.
So I thought about walking across the street to my gym.
Yeah,
Um,
I have mixed feelings about that because I, you know, this particular spirit was kind of just there in this building, and
I
I
don't know what his crimes were, but I feel like they may have been on the more serious side.
I think so. Yeah. Based on the way he was talking and based on the way he was acting. I mean, what freaked me out was the fact that I heard like when Deborah told him he had to, he didn't have to be a jerk, basically stay there. And but when I heard him say, "F that, I'll ride out on one of y'all," that made me jump out of that building so fast. And I don't think I went back in.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, this is I'm gonna have to do some googling in a minute. Why we're doing that, and I'm like, while I'm thinking, I'm feeling, I'm picking up Pee Wee Gaskin stuff.
Really?
hmm I don't know if he would ever did any time. I don't know if there
I don't think he
anything
would have
in that
done anything
area.
in Tabor City
I
though.
don't know if it was somebody who knew, but I'm. Let's see.
Let's see. Yeah,
Someone crashed into my window.
I don't think he was ever in Tabor City.
Mhm. I mean, it ain't that far off. Not to say he. Let's see. Or maybe it's just like showing me like a character of like what the crimes were like, because I'm saying the crimes were more serious.
Yeah. It's like what, 1940s or 50s?
I don't even remember. I wonder if he has family over there, because there is a Gaskins that shot somebody in Tabor City in 2014.
Hmm. I don't know. We'll have to do some
Interesting.
research on
I'll have to
that.
do some digging.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very like I don't know. Like there's a couple places that I feel uneasy about going back to, and the place in Loris is one of them. Um
See, I'm curious to go over there just because.
the bucket place.
hmm
So the place in Loris is one of them. That I'm good. I don't ever have to go back there.
Well, weren't we talking about taking Lee there?
Yeah, but I haven't heard from her.
I have to follow up with her too.
Yeah. She's busy right now though. Uh, I think she's busy filming.
Oh, nice.
They're in Canada.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, the place in Loris, I don't ever have to. I mean, it's not to say I won't go back, but I don't like. I'm perfectly content if I don't go back.
Right, right.
Um,
And I do
and
catch myself when I go to the gym. I catch myself kind of taking a glance over at that building.
yeah, like
Like, yeah, I'm good.
I drove my mom past it the other day. Um, but and then also like uh the city hall in Tabor City, I don't. I'm. That's not to say. It's not to say that I won't ever go back,
Right,
but I'm good if I don't go back.
right, right. Like, there's definitely places we want to revisit,
Yeah,
and some we just don't need to.
yeah. I mean, and on a side note, and um, well, I'll tell you that off recording, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and then I'll tell you. Just don't forget that I have to tell you something,
Okay.
because I surely will. But you got anything else on shadow folks?
Don't think so.
Well, y'all let us know what you think about shadow people. Do you think that they're good? Do you think that they're bad? Do you think that they are just like observers? Do you think that they're aliens, time travelers, other dimensional beings? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you happen to be coming to the Brentwood on Saturday, uh, let us know if you listen to the podcast or not. I mean, yeah. Um, but we are excited for the Brentwood. We can't wait. There's a few things coming up that we're super excited about. But thank y'all for listening. Shout out Miss Helen, rock solid as
Yeah.
ever. um, but there you have it, shadow people. And until next time, y'all come back now.
Bye.
Bye.